you most look up to as a young person and why?
Well, I'm fortunate that I had a mom that really was a role model. My mother was a working mother at a time that a lot of moms weren't. She was a Chicago public school teacher. She taught in the public schools for decades, really. And in fact, she was my substitute teacher a couple of times, which was really sort of weird, you know, when you're in middle school and do you say mom or do you raise your hand? Um, but she was all teacher and believed that I could be absolutely anything that I wanted to be. So she was really a role model.
If you could meet any woman in American history, who would you choose and what would you ask?
Well, I'm sure a lot of women would say, and this is my choice, Eleanor Roosevelt. What a woman. She was not, she didn't take a backseat to anybody, including her husband, being out there and casting light on problems that Americans felt, particularly those who were left out and didn't have a voice. Such a strong woman, such a compassionate woman. I would ask her, do you have any advice for us how we move an agenda now in this country? Because so many women are living on the brink. That means, you know, they may be just one or two paychecks away from real financial disaster, trying to balance work and family. I think she might have ideas not only on what that agenda ought to be, but how are we going to get it passed? How are we going to really make a difference? So much was done during the New Deal, and a lot of it had to do with Eleanor Roosevelt. And of course, she also was involved at the United Nations, making sure that the Declaration of Human Rights included women.
How can public policy help women succeed? And what steps can Congress take right now?
Well, I am so proud that under the leadership of the former Speaker, hopefully soon to be Speaker, but our Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi, that we have an agenda called When Women Succeed, America Succeeds. And it's not just a slogan, it just happens to be a fact. And so a part of that agenda deals with how can we help women raise their wages. Obviously, for many women who live with the minimum wage, it's simply not sufficient. And of course, women are the largest segment of minimum wage workers. And women who rely actually on tip wages, which are so very, very low. So raising the minimum wage. But also, women need to have paid leave. Women need to be able to take care of their families. They need to have paid sick days. They should have, and actually all workers should have, paid family and medical leave, so they don't have to make the terrible choice between going to work and a sick child or a sick parent that needs help. We need to make sure that women have childcare, adequate childcare, that they're able to afford to have good childcare. And I think women are entitled to a secure retirement. Lots of women take time out of the workforce, and so their Social Security checks are reduced. Their lower wages during their working years mean that the benefits that they get when they retire are lower than men's. As the co-chair of the Seniors Task Force in the House, I believe that we have to pay attention to retirement security, which has particular impact on women. We need to train women for the good jobs of the 21st century. So education is extremely important for women and educational opportunities. We've got a very full agenda under When Women Succeed, America Succeeds. But as the majority of the population in the United States and women getting more and more elected to office, I believe that we can make the difference that we need to make for ourselves and for our families and for the many men who partner with us.